into another edition of The Verdict. I'm your host, Sean Brace from PhillyHamster.com. Over to my left, my good friend, the co-host of The Verdict, the one, the only, Mr. Adrian Fedke from PhillyHamster.com as well. Adrian, how you doing, my friend?
A little depressed. Matt Rule's gone, but let's get into the show.
Yeah. Hey, man. Shout out to Temple Football and Matt Rule. We'll touch on that in a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot of stuff to get into. Unfortunately, some negative, some positive, but we're going to start negative, obviously, with the Philadelphia Eagles, and that was a disaster. What was the final score of that game?
32-14.
32-14, now 5-7 on the season, 4 games left after starting 3-0. Adrian, I'm going to keep this open-ended for you and for the viewers right now.
Yeah.
Eagles, WTF, what is going on? What happened? Do we have anything to look forward to this year?
Oh, man. Well, really nothing looking forward to for the rest of this season. But the big problem has been the defense and Jim Schwartz. And what's going on is offensive coordinators are figuring us out. So, obviously, the strength of this football team, the front seven, the defensive line, Jim Schwartz likes getting pressure with his front four. So, what's going on is to negate the pressure, teams are getting rid of the ball quicker, right? Picking on the secondary. The cornerbacks are not a strength of this team. And so you're getting rid of the ball quick. That's negating the pressure. And, you know, we're seeing it in the numbers. 6 sacks in the last 6 games after having 20 over the first 6. So
yeah,
that's a big problem.
You're talking about some big names like Fletcher Cox, Connor Barwin, Brandon Graham, Vinny Curry. Go down the list, and these guys have only totaled up 6 sacks in the last 6 games. Teams have been picking them apart. I agree. Defense, for me, that's where the focus needs to be, because all this offseason, everybody was talking about how good this defense was, and for the most part, we saw it at the beginning of the season, and guess what happened at the beginning of the season? They were winning football games. Yeah. But, you know, it's like we get caught up. We're like cats. You know, we are, honestly, because we get caught up in this day and age with the NFL, and what I mean by that, the cat chase around the ball, that's how we are with offense. Our focus immediately goes to the quarterback. Our focus immediately goes to play calling. Our focus immediately goes to play callers on the offensive side. But I agree with you. When you talk about the Eagles this year, I think we should look at defense and say, what the hell is going on? I expected more.
Yeah, because we knew the offense coming into the season was a big weakness. We knew this coming in. And just before we get to the next topic, I mean, everyone's complaining about Fletcher Cox. Let me just say this, okay? He's getting double and triple teamed on every single snap. It's up to the other guys on the defensive line to win their one-on-one matchups. It's not happening. All right, now let's talk about the head coach, Doug Peterson. 12 games into the season, 5-7 record. So the good, the bad, is there more good than bad? Is there more bad than good? And how do you feel about the people that want his head and want him fired after one season?
Great question. Good than bad, bad than good. Before I get into that, let me just touch on this. For the people that want to remove Doug Peterson after 12 games, don't even tell me 16 games. And to be honest with you, I heard people on WIP on Friday calling for him to be fired. So that's 11 games. That's 11 games that a rookie head coach got to prove to you. That's 11 games that a rookie head coach who didn't have one of his players. Who's his player? Who's Doug Peterson's player? Carson Wentz? That's the one guy? Other than that, this is Chip's squad. This is Howie Roseman's squad. Granted, Doug hasn't been the greatest coach of all time, plus play caller, but these are growing pains. And there are some things out there that make you scratch your head going, oh, I don't know if I'm comfortable with him learning on the job at this level. I get it. Sure. But this was the decision by Jeffrey Lurie to go into this year with Doug Peterson. Whether he was your guy, my guy, whatever, at the beginning of the season when he was hired, bottom line is Jeffrey Lurie hired him. Doug Peterson is not getting fired. No. I don't care if they lose out the rest of the season. He is not getting fired after 1 year. It makes no damn sense. Chip Kelly was fired after his first losing season as a head coach. That was last year. Now you bring in Doug Peterson. You want to fire him after this year? I mean, who is the guy that will satisfy you out there? Who's the guy? What do you want, Bill Cowher? Are you still talking Bill Cowher?
John Gruden!
John Gruden, let me, like, are you kidding me? These are the guys that you're talking about, so you're going to have growing pains. You're gonna be losing your mind no matter who the coach is. You can't fire these guys just because things aren't going your way. More bad than good, more good than bad. Boy, it's about as close as even as it could be. But I think there are things out there that make me look at Doug and say, I like his play calling. I know people are saying he's suspect right now. He's getting away from the run-pass ratio. Hey, when you're losing and you're getting smoked and you're getting effort like Zach Ertz putting out there, putting on blocks, Olay, you're going to throw the football. 60 times is way too much. Way too much. But for me, a little bit more good than bad when it comes to Doug this year.
Okay, I'll voice my concerns about Doug Peterson because this is the most important time for Carson Wentz's development, and we're still seeing mechanical flaws. I mean, it's getting worse. There's regression, overthrowing receivers.
You mean a rookie?
Well, let me just before I get to that. Okay, so here's the basis of my argument. So you got a former quarterback in Doug Peterson, you got a former quarterback in Frank Reich, and then you got John DeFilippo as your quarterback's coach. So you got 3 mentors for Carson Wentz. And he's not improving in terms of the compact release. He doesn't have that. He's got a long swooping motion. He's overthrowing receivers, feet not getting set in the pocket, perceiving pressure in the pocket that isn't there. So he's escaping it when he doesn't have to. So there's a lot of things in that aspect. And do we have confidence that the Eagles coaching staff can fix these kinks during this coming offseason? Because that's something I am concerned about.
Okay, and that's fair. You're exactly right when you talk about that long list of guys that should be able to help him.
Yeah.
But again, who's he throwing the football to right now? Paul Turner and Bryce Treggs are on the field.
Yeah.
That's a joke. I already pointed out, you could sit there and say, Zach Ertz, that this was a one-time deal, but if you're giving me effort on that block, maybe we should bring out the magnifying glass and watch you for a game and see what type of effort you're putting out there. And that's fair, right?
Yeah.
Offensive line, struggling. Lost the number 1 or maybe number 2 tackle in all of football. Top 3, definitely.
It's been inconsistent because there's some games where they play well, and then there's others like Cincinnati that just didn't show up.
Look, rookie coach, rookie quarterback, they're going to struggle. The answer is not to get rid of these guys. The answer is to believe in these guys, give them another opportunity, give them an offseason to get their guys.
Yeah, let's see what Doug Peterson can do when you get some weapons around Carson Wentz.
Speaking of weapons, speaking of offseason, perfect transition, let's talk about Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman was built as the god.
He was a messiah.
Howie the god. And rightfully so when you're talking about the removal of the Byron Maxwell contract, the Kiko Alonso contract, the Marco Murray contract, and whether these guys are playing good right now in Miami and Tennessee, which they are. Don't get me wrong, Maxwell a little bit less, but Kiko is doing really well, and DeMarco Murray is top 3 in the league.
Killing it, yeah. But he wanted out.
They wanted out.
Yeah.
So these moves had to be made. Howie Roseman was able to get Carson Wentz. We know the history, but here we are. Now we were able to revisit, or visit that history and say the Vinnie Curry contract, the Connor Barwin. What are we looking at right now with Howie Roseman? He went from the goat to the chump like that. What are we talking about when we bring up Howie Roseman's name right now? And what can he do in this offseason?
Well, I'll tell you what. During the offseason, when everybody was praising him, I was questioning a lot of the decisions because of how much money he was handing out. Vinnie Curry got top 10 money for a defensive end. What's he ever really done?
Nothing.
When you really think about it.
Nothing.
Yeah. He's a third-string defensive end. He's not even a starter.
I said on Breakfast on Broad in August, you guys should just build this man a statue already. And I got ripped. Oh, it was the scheme. Oh, it was the coaching staff holding back Vinnie Curry. What's the answers now?
Yeah.
What's your reasons now?
Yeah. So you got that. You gave Zach Ertz $42.5 million to be a Matador. And then you got Lane Johnson, who I think he got more money than Byron Maxwell. He's now obviously suspended, but I think he's got some potential moving forward.
Sure.
But the point is how much money they spent, and you're not getting the production for the money you spent, and that's my issue.
That stat that you came across, top 4 in the last 4 years.
Yeah, they spent the most money in the league.
That's
incredible.
Insane.
It's insane.
It's got to translate to wins. What can Howie Roseman do this offseason?
Yeah, obviously the big report right now is to bring back Deshaun Jackson. I'll say this about Deshaun, okay, because he's already 29 years old. So if you bring him back, you want him for maybe 2 years with an option for a 3rd year because he's a speedster. And after you turn 30, that speed might diminish a little bit. So just be wary of that. I know a lot of people want Deshaun back. I'm a little bit more wary. The guys that I want, Alshon Jeffrey, but Terrell Pryor is the name, I think, because you might be able to get him, not necessarily for cheap, but maybe cheaper than Alshon Jeffrey. And, the thing about the PEDs.
The PEDs,
that's big.
I think Pryor, and then the sky's the limit for Pryor.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a phenomenal talent. He's playing multiple positions. He's playing in Cleveland, still giving an A effort, so I think he's going to cost you.
Yeah, he's still learning how to be a receiver, too.
Yeah.
And that's scary, how much production he's had this year.
Everybody wants Deshaun Jackson's 39 catches back.
I'm not big on Deshaun.
For the right price.
But for the right price, if it's for 2 years, obviously. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so...
I jumped the gun.
Yeah, it's all good. So, college football playoff. It's been revealed. Did they get it right?
Yeah, because look, the going into the conference championship games, you said the writing was on the wall, and it was Washington at the 4 seed, and if Washington wins, where are they going to go? Ohio State's not playing, so they're automatically in. I thought all along.
Yeah.
Clemson, if Clemson wins, they're in, and Alabama could have lost, and they still would have got in. Yeah. So. You going into the last weekend, you knew that was the case. I don't know why there was a lot of people that had some different takes, and I didn't understand it. I was on Sunday morning on Fox 29, the weekend show, so you check it out. Yeah. And I called it as is, and I said, I just don't understand why people are thinking, that just because Washington plays in a bad conference, Penn State could jump them. Washington won. They deserve to be in. Yeah. The Pac-12 was a decent conference the second half of the season. Stanford came on strong. USC came on strong. Colorado had 2 losses. Yeah, strength of schedule, I get it, but these guys play they play the games on the field. I hate to go all cliche with there. Chris Peterson is a good coach. He's a good coach. You know him from Boise State. So I think Washington belongs. That was the one spot. Here's what I know, though, and this is where the committee got it right. Yeah. If one of those teams were to slip up, Michigan wasn't getting in, it was the Big Ten champion. Yeah. All right? Penn State jumped Michigan, which was the right thing to do, okay? So if somebody slipped up, that Big Ten champion was getting in, whether it be Wisconsin or Penn State. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. Nobody slipped up, these are your 4.
Yeah. I thought it was a no-brainer. I thought this was easy. We were talking about this last week. True. Like, if those 4 teams, if none of them were going to lose, that was going to be your top 4. I thought that was easy. But the argument that Penn State fans were making was not even Washington, it was Ohio State. Yeah. Because Ohio State wasn't a conference champion. But listen, Ohio State had 3 top 10 wins. They went on the road, they beat Oklahoma. They went on the road, they beat Wisconsin. They beat Michigan at home to close the season. Yeah. So I thought that was a no-brainer. As for Washington, you know what's a crazy stat? I saw this because ESPN has these like FPI rankings. Pac-12, the division that Washington was ranked 2nd. Penn State's division was ranked 4th. And the reason for that is because of the bottom dwellers in that division, like a Rutgers. Gotcha. So that's like, so it's top heavy with Michigan and Ohio State, obviously. But besides that, there's not much after that. Because Penn State, if you really look at their schedule,
Minnesota, Michigan State, Rutgers.
Yeah, it really wasn't that impressive.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. The Ohio State victory was huge. Yeah. And that Wisconsin victory was amazing. And this Penn State team right now is not the same Penn State team that got smoked on September 24th by Michigan.
Yeah. So it's a great story.
It is a great story.
Congratulations to Penn State.
Go to the Rose Bowl, beat USC, and that's all you can do at this point. Yeah. Don't think about the Final Four. And do you have any favorites for the Final Four besides Alabama? Is it Alabama?
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Clemson comes out because obviously revenge on their minds from last year. I think they've been kind of lackadaisical all season waiting for the playoffs. So I'm really curious to see how they fare in a matchup against Alabama. Okay. But I think Alabama wins it.
Good stuff as always, Adrian Fedke. A little bit new. We're going to do this on the way out here. Yeah. Final thoughts, 30 seconds. What's on your mind? Go.
Yeah, well, I was going to do Matt Rule, but you know what? Let's talk about the Flyers. Flying under the radar right now in Philadelphia, 6 straight wins. How about Steve Mason? Steve Mason has been incredible. You look up his NHL player card, the picture of him, just a brick wall. Yeah, there you go. He's been killing it.
Funny. Yeah. Actually, when Ghost got benched, that's really when they started turning it around here. It's crazy. I do the Fox hits every Friday, and from week to week, it's just... One week the Flyers lose 3 in a row. The next week they win 3 in a row. It's just up and down. And here we are, 6 straight. So props to the Flyers. Keep it going. Yeah. Also, my final thoughts are this. Props to Villanova, Jay Wright, and the Wildcats right now. There's zero disrespect to this team. Everyone knows who they are. This squad. Josh Hart is Player of the Year caliber. Honestly, I know that Archie was a huge piece last year, and if he was on this squad, I think it would be a little bit different. I think I'd be able to say this, but I think this team this year is a little bit better than last year. Only time will tell. We'll see. Yeah. But I just see a little bit more scoring. I see a little bit more playmaking going on, a little bit more everyone comfortable in the systems, comfortable in the scheme. Jay Wright, last night, impressive victory at the Palestra over LaSalle. Got a lot of attention from Scott Van Pelt on ESPN. Hey, man, number 1 right now, Villanova. And they have good damn shot at doing it again.
They do.
All right?
They do.
That's all I'm going to say.
They're fun to watch. They share the ball.
Fun to watch.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
Ball movement, man.
Villanova making a run and doing it again?
Woo.
That would be incredible.
Pretty insane. Yeah.
Good stuff as always.
Yep.
Adrian Fedke, make sure you follow him on Twitter. Check him out at PhillyAmateur.com. And of course, he's doing stuff on Fox 29 Good Day throughout the week as well. Hopefully, looking forward to getting him back on the scene. You meet Jarek this time.
Yeah.
Good
Although
stuff.
Alex pretty cool too.
I know.
Yes.
Awesome. Adrian Fedke, me, Sean Brace. I'm on Fox 29 this weekend. Make sure you check us out. This is The Verdict. Until next time, everybody have a great weekend.
Take care.